Okay, this is video number 2. We're continuing the Once Upon a Time project that began on page 26 in the Coding for Beginners Using Scratch book. And we finished with number 11, so now we're going to go on to number 12. And it says select Pico, so click on Pico down here. And we want to start a new script with when the backdrop switches. So that's going to be an event. Okay, something that happens is an event. And so let's pull this over. And when it switches to the moon, we got 3 options here. Backdrop 1 was just a plain white one that we started with. So when it switches to the moon, what do we want to do? Well, we want to wait 2 seconds. So that is a control. And so let's drag that over and change that. Click on the 1 and replace it with a 2. And then what we want to do is we want to change our look. So we want to switch to a different costume. And we've got Pico A, B, C, and D. And it looks like in the book that they chose either C or D. It's, we'll say it's C. So we'll try that. And then let's run the program. And we'll see if we get the surprised look that's on the right side of page 29, a little bit over halfway down. So let's run it. And that does not look like a surprised look, does it? That looks like an angry look. Okay, so let's stop the program and let's go to make sure we get Pico selected, and let's go to costumes over here, and it should show us what the costumes are. Well, it looks like D is the correct one. Let's see if we made a mistake here. Let's go back to our scripts. And oh, you know what? I think what we need to do, so it looks like that's the only place where he changes costumes. And at the beginning, so this is still here because it stays there. Every time we run the program and we stop it, everything stays in the state that it was in at the end of the program. So if we changed his costume to C, then it's going to be in C when we start the next time. So I think what we need to do next is, let me see if they do this on, no they don't. But what we want to do is we want to start him off with costume 1. So when this is clicked, we want to switch costume before we do anything else. We'll put that right in there, and we want to switch that to Pico A. And now let's try to run it. Okay, and that's his A costume. And hi Pico, let's go somewhere fun. And she says, I have an idea. And we're on the moon the whole time too, aren't we? So another thing we have to initialize or do at the beginning is we have to set the background to the slopes. So we want to switch the backdrop. So let's go up here and drag switch backdrop, and we'll put that up there on the top as well. And we want to start off on the slopes. Okay, now let's try to run it. They should be on the slopes. He should have his normal smile, and then the conversation will begin. Hello Giga, hi Pico. Let's go somewhere fun. I have an idea. And then that's his surprised look because they're on the moon. Okay. So now let's go to page 30, and this says making an ending. And it says you could add some more dialogue and costume changes to finish the story. And they give us some more commands to put in. This is for Pico, and it's a third script. So um, first he says this, and then he says this, and I'm gonna kind of drag this over to the side, and we're going to do another when I receive. So when I receive, and I'm sorry, not when I receive, when the backdrop switches. Oh, we've already got that, don't we? Okay, so when the backdrop switches to moon, wait 2 seconds, switch costume to Pico C, and then I need to add one more instruction here. We want to say, uh, what? How did you do that? So click on this, and we're typing what in caps. How did you do that for 2 seconds? And then it's her turn again, so he's going to broadcast another item that's an event. So we're going to broadcast, and we're going to do a new message, and we're going to call this one Giga 3, because this is the third one that we've sent to Giga. And click on OK. And now let's click on Giga over here on the left, and when she gets Giga 3, she's going to say something. So make sure you're on the events, and when she receives, so you see we've kind of got them in order here, Giga 1, Giga 2, Giga 3. And so you need to click on this and make sure it's Giga 3 that we select. And she's going to say something that's under looks. And so we're going to drag this down here. And she says kind of a long sentence here. So click on hello. And the message she says is, I might have forgotten to tell you something. And that's for 2 seconds, just like all of them have been, so we don't need to change the number. And then we're going to switch costume, and we're going to switch her to Giga C. Okay. And then we're going to have her say, and again for 2 seconds, click on the word hello, and she says, I have superpowers, exclamation mark. Okay. So now let's run the script, or run the whole program. And hi Giga, hi Pico, let's go somewhere fun. I have an idea. And they change to the moon, and he looks surprised and says, what? How did you do that? She says, I might have forgotten to tell you something. I have superpowers. And she changes her costume when she says, I have superpowers. So now she looks like she's kind of surprised a little bit too. Okay. And now on the bottom of page 30, it has some debugging, and we've already done some of those, so I kind of got a little bit ahead of things here. But that's under Pico is where we've got the when clicked. And switch backdrop. You know what? They're right in the book. That one should probably not be here. We should attach that to our backdrop script. So I'm just going to leave this. And I'm going to click on our backdrop here. And when the green flag is clicked at the very beginning, what we want to do is we want to, let me see, oh, that would be under looks. We want to switch backdrop to, and we want to start off with the slopes for our backdrop. Okay, and so that's the bottom one on page 30, and then we need to add one for Giga too, so that she doesn't start off with this. So every time when the green flag is clicked, we want to change her looks back to the starting point, and her starting point is Giga A. So let's click on the down arrow here and choose Giga A. And now let's try and run the program. Hello Giga, hi Pico, let's go somewhere fun. I have an idea. Poof, they're on the moon. She sent out a message, and he looks surprised when he gets the message, and she says, "What? How did you do that?" And she says, "There's something I forgot to tell you. I have superpowers." And then that is the end of our little story. If you look on page 31, it says you could add more elements to your story um, by adding some sound or adding another sprite or make your sprites grow or shrink or disappear, but we're not going to do that, but you can try that on your own. And then it says uploading backdrops. You can also give your characters more places to explore by uploading your own backdrops. You can take a digital photograph or find an image you like. It just has to be a JPEG or a PNG file and no bigger than 10 megabytes, which is actually pretty big. So if you wanted to upload a background, the way that you do it is you click on upload backdrop from file and you click on that, and then when it comes up with the open dialog box, then you simply go to wherever it is that you have a picture stored, and then you click on open it, and it will add that backdrop. So you're not limited to what they have. You're also not limited to the sprites that they have. You can basically do the same thing with sprites, but we'll talk about that some other time. So that's the end of Once Upon a Time. And what I want you to do is go back to the book and go to page 26 and try to do the exact same Once Upon a Time program that we just got done with here.